Previously on Dandies in Danger.
Welcome back to Dandies in Danger. My name is Haile. I'll be the GM this time around. There is a party on a ship happening. What's a ghost ship without its ghost story, Back in 1755, a ship had been sighted out in the Atlantic. A ship called the HMS Halbred had gone out to rescue said ship. However, the HMS Halbred never seemed to make its destination, nor were there any traces of it. Until about a year ago. The ship returned, completely intact, but with nobody aboard. Now, the ship was released to the public after being sold to a wealthy business owner. There will be a medium, a white witch registered with the church, to perform a seance and contact the missing spirits from 60 years ago.
Oh, this'll go great.
This sounds rad.
This is all a ruse.
No, I want real spooks.
The seance is to begin. Suddenly there is a pressure in the room, and a small ball of fiery light forms. They see a swirling torrent of images of the sea, and they hear a loud cry of several men running to one side of the ship that is steadily inclining at an alarming angle. And like that, the flame extinguishes. Windows to the past. Basically, you were seeing imprints, stains. She sailed with a crew of 112, ladies and gentlemen. That's 112 missing people. A fog is rolling out from seemingly out of nowhere. Fire! Fire! I believe there's a fire! Ladies and gentlemen, please evacuate to the quarterdeck! The fog lifts, and you are not where you were before. But you are on a ship, and it is a sunny day, and you are standing amongst other men, and you are looking to your captain. Trades have come, and as a result we are pleased to inform that we will be arriving a day earlier than expected. Let's give assistance where we can, shall we? Hi, my name is Haile, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the voice of Zachary Wilkos.
Hi, I'm Cass. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm voicing Liam Bardsley.
Hi, I'm Chess. Pronouns he, she, they, and I'm voicing Daniel Pritchard.
Hi, my name is Toast. My pronouns are she, her, and I voice Adrian Edwards.
The fog clears, and all four of you are standing on the quarterdeck of the HMS Halbred. You are standing amongst your peers, amongst your men, and amongst your fellow of the same rank. Not all of you are together. Daniel, you find yourself in full red uniform, a bayonet at your side, and a tricorn hat atop your head to shield you from the glaring sunlight.
That's my favorite hat.
No one you know is directly beside you, but you do spot two familiar faces across from you. Liam Bardsley and Zachary Wilkos are amongst a group of sailors who are not finely dressed, but their clothes aren't too raggedy either. Drenched in sweat already, these two stand among the crowd of sailors and do not stand as rigidly as you stand. You are in rank. You know this. You don't know how you know this, but you know that you need to keep rank. Liam can have an opportunity to look around here.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if he's sweaty, he's already miserable. Instantly, his mood has just gone downhill. But yes, I would like to look around, and shall I roll for perceiving?
Yes, you can do a quick perception check.
Okay. First, he's gonna look at his clothes.
You don't have to do a perception check for that.
Okay, cool. What do my clothes look like?
The nasty.
Oh no, he's feeling even worse.
Part of your long overshirt is a little untucked. You have pants that go a little past your knees, but you do have some sturdy shoes on.
He's just sort of like gonna instinctively start tucking his shirt in as he looks around. And so now, can I roll my perception check?
Yes, now okay. You can roll your perception check.
Well, that's sure is a 1, so, the sweat is just dripping into his eyes, I suppose, and he can't see anything.
That's true. He's just very overstimulated at the moment with everything that's happening. He sees crowds of people, he sees maybe a familiar face among the Marines, and he's in a very bewildered state, especially because he's only just now starting to get his breath back.
Oh, okay.
His airway is clear. It no longer feels like something is constricting it, and he is able to breathe once more.
He's probably gonna unintentionally sort of like take a gasp of air
A few of the men shift beside you, a little irritated, but keep listening to some hum of noise that's going up above you until you realize that's a voice talking. And I'm going to jump over to Adrian real quick, who is standing under the shade in the quarterdeck next to the wheel, just outside of the captain's office. You have 2 lieutenants next to you, and you are dressed in clothes that are not quite of your time. You do have a button-up shirt, but you also have a pretty sturdy leather apron on at the moment. Your sleeves are rolled up to your elbows. You're wearing long pants and a nice pair of shoes. And you are perhaps a bit hot, but not like you would be if you were standing in the sun with the ship hands, the midshipmen, the boatswain, and all of the marines. You can see across from you 2 hunters, who also look out at everyone. The captain, whom everybody suddenly knows, is Captain Alexander T. Harpshire, is speaking to the crew and addressing them. You've only just now really tuned into his speech. Trade winds have been far better than predicted, and as a result we are pleased to inform that we will be arriving a day earlier than expected. If the HMS Gallant is out there and still afloat, we are to provide assistance and allow her crew room to heal. Thus, our small crew at launch. I have no doubt that even if their ship's surgeon were still alive, he'd be in no shape to stitch any man. Therefore, it will fall on you, Dr. Edwards. He turns to you, Adrian, and gives a small nod, to see to the men's needs. In which case I expect every one of you to be careful and not to do anything that might give Dr. Edwards unnecessary work. So with that, I dismiss the rest of you back to your duties. Dismissed. With that, the captain turns and he heads back into his office, followed by one of the lieutenants and the 2 hunters. Adrian, you are left alone, pretty much, except for the lieutenant who's looking out at everybody. The midshipman comes out from behind Zachary and Liam and says, "Faster, lads, the trade won't last forever." And a lot of the ship hands just start running about to the masts, and you can see a lot of them scurrying upward and starting to make work on the sails above. The sails are open, not all of them, though. The lieutenant looks at Adrian. And Adrian, you know this man, but you can't quite get his name right now. He looks at you. He has brown chestnut hair, and he is a 2nd lieutenant. And he smiles pleasantly at you, and he goes, "Back to where you were, Dr. Edwards. Unless you want to muck about the ship, but there's not much to be entertained by on the quarterdeck."
Yeah. Probably not. I know lots about boats.
"Do you?" he says with interest. Are you feeling alright, sir?
Yeah, the heat. I'm gonna go.
He gives you a nod and he doesn't stop you. So we'll follow Adrian in a second. Adrian, I imagine you're just getting off the quarterdeck?
I guess so.
If you want to leave the quarterdeck, you can. I will follow you in a second, but right now I'm going to shift back over to Daniel. You probably pass by Daniel if you're going on your way back down the porthole.
Daniel gives Adrian kind of a panicked look, sort of like, "There you are," he's saying with his eyes, and also sort of like a, "Where are we? What do we do?" But they can't say anything to each other, and he just lets Adrian pass.
Yeah, Adrian also gives them that kind of look. They both just go bug-eyed at each other.
Anyone outside of them is like, "Oh, they have a history."
Adrian disappears.
Those 2 have fucked.
Adrian goes down into the upper gun deck, leaving Daniel on the quarterdeck, who still stands in rank. His leading officer comes up towards him and passes him, looking over the ranks. Goes, "Right, men, stay on guard for now. Let's see." He takes out a pocket watch. "Regimented training will begin shortly." He makes a face, as if he doesn't really care for it himself, but doesn't say too much. "And I suppose we're to be on standby until we find this supposed mysterious ship. On guard, lads. Stay on guard." He walks about, and a few of the men go to what Daniel knows is their position, which is further towards the bow of the ship. But him and his crew stay not under the shade, but close to the shade, towards the quarters of the officers. Liam and Zachary are being pulled and pushed along to start helping with the rigging and start climbing up the masts. Liam, any resistance?
Liam's looking down at his legs again. Is he wearing stockings, or are his calves bare?
His calves are bare. It's a bit too hot to be wearing stockings right now.
Okay, he's, I suppose glad that he's, not overheated, but kind of mortified that his bare, beefy calves are just out there.
His fucking main focus is his clothes right now.
His appearance.
Yeah. people are starting to head up, and Zachary goes over to Liam and is just sputtering questions. What is...
Later, Zach.
But-
Let's just blend in for now until we know more about the situation, I suppose.
Blend
do I still
in.
do I still look like myself?
Yes, he nods.
Okay, all right.
Okay. He hesitates, and some loud commotion catches their attention to their left. And a young boy, cabin boy, has tripped over some of the rigging and set one of the sailors off kilter. The midshipman comes over to this boy and says, "Careful, lad," he barks, and pulls him up. And the boy replies, "Sorry, sir." And the midshipman goes, "Sorries won't keep you from drowning. You go overboard and I'll be damned if we waste any of the crew trying to save your soggy hide. Get your sea legs and go, now." And he swats him on the head and the boy runs past Liam and Zach. "Okay, well, I'm gonna go now," says Zachary, heading up the rigging.
I'll be right there with you.
Are any of those boys afraid of heights? Zach or Liam?
Zach is not great with heights. Zach has never been up too high before, so this is new for Zach.
Oh dear.
So Zach gets about halfway and freezes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is Liam still beside him on the rigging then? Assuming they went up together?
Yeah, that's Liam's decision. If
Zachary
okay.
is... He's not gonna leave Zach alone by himself. He's gonna climb up with Zach. Zach, are you doing alright? I mean...
"Oh, yup. Mm-hmm," he says, suddenly clung to the mast. I just found a new fear, that's all.
Just think of something to take your mind off of it, but also focus really well on what you're doing and don't get too distracted. But don't look down. But make sure you watch where you're putting your feet. But don't look down.
"Liam!" barks someone up ahead.
Liam, looks around to see who's calling for him. Aye, aye.
The person above you holds, a bunch of ropes and is looking at you confused. Why are you just stopping? And he says, "Here!" And he tosses one end of the rope down. He says, "Pass it down, lest you forgot your job."
No, righto.
"What's wrong with him?" Points to Zachary.
He's just, caught a bit of a bug, I think. Not feeling too well.
"Well, he's gonna catch the end of a whip if he's not careful," he says, and he climbs back up. Zachary clings to the rigging a bit more.
Alright, Zachary.
Huh?
We're gonna be alright. We'll see that
Oh.
you're alright. Just focus on me and just do as I do, alright?
Okay.
We're gonna take it one step at a time, and the further you go, the easier it'll be.
Okay.
It's just like a muscle you have to train.
"Are you gonna throw down that rope or what?" says someone from below Liam.
Aye, aye. He tosses it down.
"Aye, aye," they mutter. Zachary climbs a little ahead of Liam and just holds on to this mysterious rope that they're just hanging on to cluelessly as he looks around. And it seems a lot of the people who are already on, I know boat terms, who are closer to unfurling the sails, sitting on part of the mast, is pulling on one end of the rope, which is becoming slack on Liam's end, as if everybody else wants him to pull that as well.
He's gonna pull it.
He does great, and they pull it, and Zachary is just pulling it along with everybody else. Unfortunately, one of the ropes of the sails snap, and this whips the rope that Liam is holding onto, the end of it, just wildly about, and the dead end, which is the end that no longer is connected to the sail, it can just drop, but the one that is connected to the sail is whipping about, and everybody's, from the shock of the snap, has just let go of it. And Zachary is ducking because he doesn't want to get hit by this very heavy rope. You could feel how heavy it was, like it had been dipped in resin. Does Liam do anything to try and catch the rope?
Yeah, I think if he's already holding on to it, he's perhaps instinctively going to try to hold on harder.
He was holding on to the dead end of it, so the part that is no longer a part of the sail. He can let go of that if he wishes. The other part of the rope is wildly whipping about and could threaten to hit either of them in the face.
If it comes close to him, he's going to try to grab it.
Okay, please roll a d20 with dexterity.
Alright. I got a 13.
Was that with your dex?
Yes.
Alright, it's a half success. You don't go unscathed, and neither does Zachary. It unfortunately catches Zach a bit on the head, one of the rough ends, and it does whip Liam in the face. Hard enough to maybe have a welt,
Oh no!
but he has successfully caught it, and Zachary is sort of still cowering and cringing on the rigging.
Poor baby. Oh
Someone looks down at Liam. The man above him looks down at him and goes, "Oh, that's a shiner in the making."
Yep. I got it though.
"Nice catch, Bardsley." And he also takes hold of the rope, and other men who had been under Liam crawl all the way up the mast and start also pulling, and they get that sail unfurled. Since Daniel saw it, and Daniel sees that both Liam and Zachary got smacked pretty hard, what is Daniel thinking?
He had kind of, probably has innate knowledge of where he's supposed to be, right?
Yeah,
He's kind of like taken a step forward of instinctually like, my friends are hurt, but is probably staying in his position, and he's watching them closely and trying to hear if they're all right. Does he instinctively know, like, in his position, is he allowed to, like, shout over to get a report of how you guys doing?
He knows he is supposed to be standing there, and he knows he is supposed to be keeping watch. He does not know, actually, what will happen if he were to call out. But he doesn't imagine it's anything good.
Well, then he doesn't say anything.
Someone does look over to him, though, and says, "Bunch of drunken, clumsy fools, aren't they?"
He doesn't know what to say, so he doesn't say anything. He looks away.
I imagine us to be sunk before we get there with these clods.
Let's hope not, he says.
Yes, indeed. The Marine looks away. Zach is clinging to the rigging and is pretty much deemed useless. Someone comes down and starts dragging him further down, saying, "Come on, lad, come on." And he kind of relents and lets go and starts climbing down, but also looks at Liam.
Zachary, perhaps you should, get to a doctor. You got knocked up pretty bad there, and you weren't feeling well already.
Knocked up pretty bad there?
Yep, just real pregnant. Super
That
pregnant.
scared me so much I made a baby.
Fear baby.
Fear baby.
Stay tuned for Arc 37, Fear baby.
Fear baby.
That's real good.
Zachary, maybe you should head off to the doctor. You got beat up pretty bad there, and you already weren't feeling pretty well.
Yeah, he says. You can just see he's pretty much shaking. And the other man looks up at Liam and goes, "Your face is swelling. You got hit pretty hard. I'd go down and see the doctor if I were you."
Yes, I suppose I should.
Let's all go see the doctor.
You got this rope all right up there, lads?
It's all fine and rigged, thanks to you. You can head down.
All right. Liam comes down after Zach.
Zachary gets his footing, but Liam and Zachary are met by the boatswain, who has a specific rope dipped in very hard resin, sort of rolled up and at his side. That's the whipping rope. It's not fun, and they know that. The boatswain looks at Zachary and goes, "Figured you have a nap up there, huh? Figured you just, doze off for a second." "Sorry," says Zachary.
He's not feeling very well, sir. He woke up with a bit of a fever this morning and was feeling a little dizzy.
"Oh, has he?" says the boatswain. "Has he really? Well," he eyes them pretty sharply, but it seems like he's trying to come up with a reason to do something. But after a long, hard, tense glare, relents and says, "Well then, you better get yourselves down to sickbay, afore I give you a better reason."
Yes, sir.
"Yes, sir."
Liam tugs his forelock.
What a meanie.
Power-hungry asshole.
They go down and they pass Daniel as well, and Zachary, seeming to spot Daniel for the first time, goes, "Oh,
He kind of puts a finger up to his mouth to kind of be like, shh, but then he also makes it look like he's scratching his lip.
Liam grabs Zachary's hand and kind of pulls him along.
Zachary goes, and they go down to the... Sorry to leave Daniel up there.
Daniel's like, "Oh, I have a stomach ache."
Let's all go see the doctor. We're all sick of being here.
They go to the upper gun deck, and I will just say that while all of that was going on, Adrian had been excused by the lieutenant, or rather they had just parted ways in their conversation. Adrian, you had gone down to the upper gun deck, which was a little bit cooler than it had been on the quarterdeck, given that the glaring sun was not beating down upon you anymore. The boat rocks steadily, but you know your surgeon's quarters and office, and if you want, you can head towards it. I don't know where you headed.
He goes straight there, and he opens the cabinets.
Yes, there is the makings for laudanum, and there is laudanum there. You also have cotton.
Not for you.
I'm the doctor. I get first dibs.
Why did you have to make him a medical officer? He's
fun.
just gonna be drunk the entire time.
Yes, who doesn't want that? Cotton, bandages, surgical chemicals, something that kind of, I think it's
Chloroform?
Thank you. A bit of chloroform. It just helps sort of dull and knock. And of course, there's a lot of alcohol in there.
Lots of opiates.
Yeah.
There's also
stuff.
cocaine. Have fun.
He's gonna have a
Oh,
great
yeah.
time.
Yeah. As soon as he kind of gets in there, someone already comes up and knocks on the side of his cabin door. Hello?
One moment. And he takes him a sip of some laudanum. Very
He
hurriedly.
hears Zachary's voice.
Wait, was that Zach?
No,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but he does just hear someone go, hello?
Just a second. Okay. He puts that back, goes to the door, and he opens it. Hello? Hello. I'm the doctor.
A younger-looking ship hand who is very pallor, tow-headed, and with sort of deep-set eyes, kind of looks up at you very guiltily and says, as he's holding his hand, and says, sorry to bother you, sir. I know what the captain just said, but me hand slipped, and
Are you okay?
He shows Adrian that he's got a rather large laceration on his hand.
Oh, well, come inside. I know how to do these things.
Yes, I imagine you would, he says. Again, I'm
I
so
probably
sorry.
have a degree.
This man has a big laceration on his hand. Do you want to make a roll for perception? What do you want to do?
I also have, like, innate medical knowledge now, yes?
Yeah,
I should probably look at it, though.
sure. You can look over his hand. How deeply are you examining it?
I guess I'll roll, investigate it,
Yeah, sure.
with my newfound doctor wisdom.
Yes.
Well, I got a 1.
Oh no.
It was that sip of laudanum.
Yeah.
It was.
Clouded your mind.
You actually reel a little bit, and you feel a bit dizzy, and you know it's from the laudanum. Because
shit.
It feels like you've never really had it before. So your body is like, what's this? But it's unpleasant as you took a rather big sip and you
Yeah.
just sort of get very dizzy and you get slightly off kilter from the motion of the boat and you actually stagger to the side of your desk. And the ship
Cool.
hand goes, Sir, doctor, are you alright?
Peachy, how about you sit down? Have a seat.
Yes. He sits down, he's still bleeding and he's holding it. He's trying not to bleed on your floor, but he knows
Don't
he's
worry,
being a
I'm
bit
sure it's
inconvenient.
gotten a lot of blood on it before.
He sweats at this.
I just like Adrian. The guy comes to him for help. And Adrian's just like, why don't you sit down?
I was hoping perhaps you could maybe bandage it, sir?
Yes, that's my plan. That's why you're sitting down.
Yes, sorry.
Adrian is so trustworthy right now. Mm-hmm. Yes, doctor, not stowaway.
Yeah, he goes to the cabinets to get bandages and whatever he might need. I don't know. They didn't like have antiseptic or anything, did they?
They had alcohol.
They had alcohol.
Yeah.
That was alcohol.
And I think certain chemicals, they might have had iodine at that point.
They have what they call surgeon's alcohol. So it's not
Okay.
something for consumption, but it was
It's
to
not-
be poured on the wound.
Adrian's gonna test that, I bet you anything.
That's a
He's gonna
bad
sniff
idea.
it. He's gonna smell it.
It doesn't smell appealing.
It's probably
Alright.
methyl alcohol. Don't drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna. So he sets about to trying to wrap up this kid's hand.
And he can. It looks like it doesn't need any real stitching. It's just...
Nice.
It just looks like it really should be bandaged up, and he seems very sorry about it.
Don't be sorry about it.
Does he say that?
Yeah, he says that.
I can't help it. Christ. I only meant to help with the food, and then I just slipped and cut my own hand.
Well, these things happen. The Navy's mean.
He looks at him unsure, but then he kind of gives a smile. Yeah, it is. Patched up, he thanks the doctor and he heads back on his way out when Liam and Zachary head down as well. Excuse me, says Zachary going past past this person. Hey, Adrian, says Zachary.
Liam just pushes past Zachary a little bit and runs over to
Oh.
Adrian and is like,
Oh God.
"Are you alright?" What happened? He starts like
Oh,
turning
God.
his head from side to side to like look at him and be like,
It's fine. But what the hell is going on? Are you alright? Where are we? Am I dead?
Liam's got a huge, forming welt on the side
Oh,
of his
yeah.
face, and it looks like there might be some blood prickling to the surface.
Oh God.
So, in the span that Adrian had seen Liam was fine, and then suddenly Liam has a huge welt, and even Zachary looks a bit dinged up.
We need to not be here. Where's Daniel?
Daniel's up on the quarterdeck.
"He's a Marine!"
I did see that, yes. He looked very fetching in his red coat.
I
Thank you.
know! Look at me! Adrian, look at me, I'm all sweaty.
You do look really awful. You want some drugs?
I mean, you should look after Zachary. He got his head hit pretty bad.
You should look
both
after Liam.
bad.
He's nearly bleeding.
Both of you have a sit down. I'm the doctor and I can tell you to do that now.
Wait a
Sit
minute.
down.
Wait a minute.
What?
Have you been drinking laudanum?
No. Sit down.
He smells like it.
He sits, but he's staring at Adrian with
Why would you
bafflement.
be surprised? It's all right here.
Now of all times?
Especially now.
God.
Anyway, sit down. I probably know what to do.
You do.
Adrian's like, oh, you have too much faith.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yes. Somehow.
Exactly. How?
I don't know. Are you sitting
Daniel,
down yet, Liam?
Do you make any, back up on the quarterdeck, do you make any sort of excuse to try and go to the doctor's office at all?
Yes. Since he saw Zach and Liam get sent down there and he knows that Adrian's a doctor, yeah, he's gonna definitely... He waits like 5 minutes and sort of like actorly, like he sways a little bit and then to kind of make a show of it, of like, this isn't coming out of nowhere, but he's also not suspiciously being like, oh yes, immediately as those men went down, I need to go down too. So he waits 5 minutes and he sways a little and then he like touches his head sometimes and then...
What are you doing? Says the private next to him.
I'm so glad you asked. He doesn't... He doesn't say that, but he thinks that. He's like, ah, yes, I wanted someone to notice and then speak to me. And then he says, oh, I don't know if it's the sun or I'm suddenly not feeling so well.
What are you, wilting in the sun?
Oh, no.
Feeling faint?
No, I can stay. And then he sways on his feet a bit.
Look at you. You're about to keel over. He seems to sneer at him when he says that, and then he checks him in the shoulder, as if to put him off balance. This, yeah.
Daniel does a European soccer move and he falls.
This catches the attention of the officer, who turns back and looks at Daniel on the floor, and goes, fancy swabbing the deck with your tongue.
Ew.
He starts to get up and he says, no, my apologies.
On your feet. Thought you would have had your sea legs by now.
But they're not gonna let the baby boy down.
They might.
He...
He's gonna get in trouble.
While he's getting up, he shoves his finger back into his mouth.
No.
And he gags himself really quickly, and then he vomits a little bit.
This creates a bit of a panic.
God.
The private's taking a step back and going, what the? And looking at him as if he suddenly caught, like, some terrible sickness. And the officer just looks down at Daniel and leans down and says, seasickness?
He nods, I think.
Bloody hell. Move. Go. Down.
He gets up and kind of makes a show of, like, stumbling a little bit, swaying a little bit, just to kind of nail home the I'm not sick, I just don't have good sea legs kind of narrative. And then he goes down to the upper gun deck, which is the level just below the top, and where he remembers the surgeon's office was. And so he makes his way there.
Yeah. He can hear the voices of his friends. And Zachary going, seriously? Laudanum?
Yep.
He
It's
comes
my
in.
favorite.
Well, hello, you three.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Good, now that we've established who he is, how are you?
Seasick, he winks.
Yes, us too.
Liam, Adrian is actually, like, patching them up.
Yeah.
Are you all right,
yeah.
Liam? You took a bit of a smack in the face.
You could say I got knocked up. I'm alright. I've had worse.
What? When?
You know, in my childhood.
Zachary gives a knowing
Good
look at
Lord.
Liam, but looks away.
Daniel looks to Zachary, and he kind of gets close to him, and puts a hand on his shoulder, and says, what the devil is going on?
He shakes his head slowly. I don't know.
Oh, good.
Well, He sits a bit more upright. I mean, okay, what do we know so far? We know that we were on the HMS Halbred.
We don't quite know that, do we?
Do we not?
Has anyone looked at the side of the boat? I haven't.
Well, they did say...
Adrian, your logs. Your logs will say what boat you are assigned to. Look at
Oh,
your logs.
yes. Where do I keep those? He stumbles about and he finds his logs.
He can open them up, and he does see that in his logs he has been assigned to the HMS Halbred.
Oh, good.
Adrian, do you have anything else in your logs or a diary?
Not that you're allowed to read.
No, I mean, Is there any record from before we became aware?
I don't know, is there?
There's not much. These are just ship logs. It does say that you are assigned the HMS Halbred, and you're keeping track of anybody who went down for either an injury or a bit of seasickness. And you get a couple names which are otherwise unfamiliar to you, in the same way that meeting someone for the first time and then not seeing them for a couple weeks is. And all that's really there is you've administered a couple of seasick remedies, you stitched up someone's leg, and that's pretty much it.
Well, I've got nothing. Except for drugs.
Well, thank our lucky stars for that, I suppose. And we look like ourselves. And we sound like ourselves.
Well, you don't anymore, Liam.
Liam looks really despondent all of a sudden.
But Zachary points at Liam. They said your name.
And they called me Mr. Edwards. No one calls me that.
So they know us? But how?
And there's evidence in Adrian's journal of having been here for the full voyage. Except he hasn't been here.
I don't like this at all.
It is like we fit right in.
Zachary.
Huh?
This has something to do with your field of knowledge, presumably.
Oh, I thought you were about to blame it on me.
It occurred to me, but later when I'm more stressed.
I don't know. He holds his head, and then he kind of winces at the place where he held it, and he put his hand down. I can only hazard a guess that we're somehow a part of the ship's memory, like its emotional stain. I don't think we've actually traveled back in time.
What
otherwise,
the hell?
Well, otherwise we wouldn't be here being recognized as this. We just... He holds his head. Do you remember what I was saying before about stains and emotional memory?
Yes, I suppose, but why on earth would we be part of that? Is it because I flabbed during the seance?
You!
He blinks. That might be.
Daniel
Really?
slaps himself.
But I didn't say anything. Why am I here? Why are the two of you here?
Just checking it that I'm not dreaming, sorry.
Oh, startled me. The fog! There was a fog!
Yes.
We were the only ones left down there in the Orlop.
Yeah, that horrible businessman completely run you over.
I don't know what happened, or how the church couldn't have already found something like this on the ship. I just know that we have to figure out a way out of this memory.
What if we stay in here and lock the door until we don't have anything else to drink?
Well, the Marines have guns, Adrian.
Daniel has a gun.
They would be liable to... Listen. My father has told me plenty of stories from when he was in the Navy to know that they don't cotton to that sort of thing very easily. They would knock down the door and we would be hanging neat as you like by our necks until our feet stopped kicking. So I think...
Good lord.
I mean, the captain's rule is law on the ship. So we have to keep our heads low.
A very... a bit of a tainted institution. All these men crammed out in the boat making up their own laws, killing people. I don't think the Navy's a good thing.
Well, Adrian, at least you don't really have to do anything except patch people up.
But
That's
what if something
quite a serious
happens
job.
to the entire ship?
But he's not going to get strung up at all, is he? Not unless he... his face falls. I guess not unless he harbors us here and lets us mess around and do whatever we want. Yes, you could be at risk of punishment, I suppose.
Or unless he drinks too much laudanum.
Oh god, he puts his hands in his face. Or his face in his hands.
Well, I don't like this. Someone fix it.
Okay, so what we need to do is we need to... What if we went back down to the Orlup? Do you think it's like a portal of some kind? Do you think we could find our way back down from there?
Perhaps.
We could try. We could try. Not Zachary.
What if we brought up more memories of the place we actually belong? He puts the arm around Zachary and he's like, what if we thought about our good old memories? The memories we all have. All of us having the same memories, having experienced the same things, and not forgotten anything.
That makes sense.
You're scaring me. He pushes off of him. Well, we could all try to go to the Orlop deck.
Are they going to let the doctor walk down there with 2 midshipmen and a marine in the middle of the day when we're probably supposed to be doing things? Well, not me.
No, I suppose not.
We just,
We could wait until night.
bring up some very 1835 things, some very modern things. Hey, you're all tricked out. Oh.
Daniel,
We can
let's Let's save that for the Orlup once we get down there, and then we'll just think really hard about 1835.
Yes. Think very modern thoughts.
Right.
Zachary nods, but it looks like he doesn't think that'll work. So, tonight then?
Yeah. When?
Shall we do the 12th bell? Okay.
At midnight.
Everybody
Did you
will be
have
fast
a lot
asleep.
of beauty rest planned for tonight, Adrian? Did you have plans?
I don't know. It's just late.
Exactly.
You're an owl. You'll be up.
All right, fine.
Alright, so, in the meantime, says Zachary looking hesitantly at the door, I do think we have to get back out there, or they might start looking for us.
Yes.
No, Zachary. I mean, yes, Daniel, you and I should go out, but Zachary, I think you should stay here and rest for a bit.
I agree.
Just tell them I gave him too many drugs.
Yes, speaking of drugs, Zachary, make sure Adrian
No.
doesn't take too many while you're here resting.
You got it.
Please, yes, look after Adrian.
I will, I promise. But
Yes.
I don't need looking after.
yes, you
Adrian?
do.
I'm a doctor. I have a PhD.
You are a child.
Someone,
Rude.
when Daniel says that, raps on the door.
Yeah.
And they can see it's not very, closed off. It is a door in the sense that it is something to open and close. But there are sort of really open windows. And a lieutenant is standing there.
Daniel instinctively knows this is someone he definitely answers to.
The second lieutenant. Am I interrupting?
No, sir.
No.
He opens the door for himself, and he looks in, and he says, "Ah." He looks at the two shipmen. He goes, "You are Bardsley, yes?
Yes, sir.
Right. Patched up, then?
Aye, sir, yes.
I'd get back up if I were you, then."
Yes, sir. It's just that, Wilco, sir, he's not doing so well. He might not be able to make it back up today.
Well, that seems to be the responsibility of the surgeon, then, isn't it?
Yes, that's me.
Liam, looks down. He's not used to not being able to, make direct eye contact with people and just kind of have his way. So he just kind of, looks down and, pulls on his breeches a little bit and, shuts up.
Right, off with you, then. Back up the ropes, please.
Mind your face.
Liam tugs his forelock again and scoots past.
Goodbye.
He looks to Daniel, and he eyes him, and he says, "What's wrong with you, then?"
Bit of seasickness, but I'm better now.
I gave him a remedy because I'm the doctor.
Daniel really wishes Adrian would stop telling people he was a doctor/surgeon.
The, lieutenant gave Adrian, a weird look for a second, but then looks back at Daniel and says, "Happens to the best of us. Most Marines don't get their sea legs. Don't believe anything they say to you." He stands back. "Right, on your way if you're better."
Daniel probably instinctively knows to straighten up and salute, and then head out, so he does so.
Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary yet, and the lieutenant looks over at Adrian and says, "Well, we ordered people not to come down here, and yet they all come down in droves. Sorry to give you more work."
That's all right. Company's nice.
He gives sort of just a mild chuckle, and he seems
Adrian
kind
blush.
of like Adrian's kind of a bit entertaining. And he, yes. "Well, doctor," he looks over at Zachary.
He blushes more.
"And, what's wrong with this fella?"
He's too small.
"Sorry," he says. And he blinks and he looks at him and he says, "I'm sorry, he's what?"
We'll have to pump his bones full of calcium.
He's a little, malnourished, you see. A little, not quite up to snuff for someone his age.
"Malnourished? He's not."
He's a little boy.
By God, he's not sick, is he?
No. He's just a bit weak in the knees.
Right, well.
He just needs a moment. I'll pep him up with some concoctions, and he'll be right as rain.
The sooner he can get back on deck, the better, but...
Of course. Why would I keep anyone down here more than necessary?
Right, he says. "But I'll have a discussion with the cook and see if we can't get this lad, he eyes Zachary. Maybe a bit more hardtack.
Yes, a bit more of a portion for him at dinner.
I can allot him no more portion than the other sailors, lest there'd be..."
Oh. Well, never mind.
"Right, well, I'll leave you to it," he says, and smiles. "Doctor," and he walks away.
He can come to the doctor for a secret portion.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm not coming to Adrian for secret anything. All right.
That went well,
So-
I think. Don't you think that went well, Zachary? That went well.
Were you blushing?
What? No, it's really warm outside.
We're not outside.
I was just outside.
Okay. He says, you know, it's a real miracle he doesn't know that you've nipped the bottle. Not. Don't say that. I know you're high right now, but what is wrong with you?
Also, stop telling people you're a doctor.
All right. The rest of their day goes on in terms of Liam does get back to work. He has... I don't know if Adrian gave him anything for his headache.
I don't imagine Liam would have accepted it.
So he goes back to work. He has a bit of a headache, but otherwise he's fine. But it is a long day's work of rigging and pulling and making as much use of the trade winds as possible. And he can tell while he's up there that winds really are blowing, and he does have to grab extra hard to make sure he doesn't get blown off. He goes about his duties. Daniel patrols the ship with the other Marines, and for them, there really isn't much to do, so luckily his portion of work isn't too bad, except that the man who checked him earlier and who had been talking to him earlier, he gets a faint recollection of his name being Alan. And he has this strange sense that Alan does not like him. And even as they go and patrol the ship, Alan will try and trip him every now and then.
Well, he's gonna die, so...
Yeah, they all die. Yeah, so...
I guess something sure does happen to them.
Daniel starts to wonder if people can notice that he's Indian. Daniel's wondering if maybe Alan doesn't like him for racial reasons, or if Alan just doesn't like him. Daniel's wondering, like, how much of them has been absorbed into this memory. They're not really able to tell where they fit in with that. No one has made any remarks yet.
Right.
Nothing really seems out of the ordinary. They fit in so well.
The day goes on, and a couple hours later at 8 bells, they are excused to supper, which is down in the galley, in the middle gun deck. Liam and Zachary know that this is also the place where they will be sleeping later, though all their hammocks are not in use or strung up right now. There are benches, and they eat amongst all the cannons, which are lined up around them. They get their food. For supper, it is split pea with a bit of salted pork.
I love that.
And then Daniel's thrilled.
I love that soup.
And a pint of beer to go with it.
Oh, better.
There are, much like a high school cafeteria, places where they're kind of expected to sit. The ship hands are, supposed to sit amongst the ship hands. The Marines are to sit amongst the Marines. There are 2 hunters. They're sitting with the Marine officers, but not the privates. There's maybe one private at their table. And
ooh, what a special private. Is it Alan?
It is Alan.
I'll bury him.
Lol.
Oh.
I'm going to go ahead and, for the sake of the story, say y'all have already retrieved your food and probably have grouped together like a bunch of freshmen surrounded by seniors.
I mean, Adrian's not there, is he?
He is. He eats there as well if he wants. Or that's at least where he retrieves his
food.
With
the lieutenants and officers and stuff.
That's really up to him. He can dine with them, but he's not like a special guest. Okay. He does, and it's usually common for him to eat with the crew as well.
Excuse me, only saving lives here.
He's probably, though, when it's like actually 8 bells, he's gonna be like, alright, Zachary, go get your dinner. I'll be here.
You're not coming.
Nope.
You don't want to eat.
Nah.
He never eats.
Yeah, I don't eat often.
Alright, he says.
That's why he's so skinny.
That's why I'm nearly dead.
And weak.
That means Liam, Zachary, and Daniel, as you're looking for a place to eat, you hear a voice, and only really, I think, Adrian would pick up on this, but nonetheless, it comes up in your peripheral hearing, someone yelling out, "Alright, Charlie, didn't slice a piece of yourself off for us, did you?" And someone who is with the cook sort of hunches their shoulders a bit up closer to their ears as they continue to cut and prep meals for people, but he does have a very big bandage on his hand.
It's that toe-headed fella.
It is. It is the toe-headed fella. But you guys don't know that, and Adrian's not with you to point it out. So
I gotta say, Zachary's pretty dumb. He just left Adrian back there with all that laudanum and drugs.
He's a good boy, and he does what he's told. He's also hungry. Like, for the short time that he was up there, and also the boat is... I think, like, trying to find your balance on a boat requires a lot of extra energy and makes you hungry anyway. Yeah. Adrian, because you don't have a lot of laudanum as drenched in your system as normal, you are also hungry. But you don't... If it's not in his character to eat, I won't force him to eat.
If I may interject, Liam is trying to memorize names as they go through. Mm-hmm. And so if he did hear somebody, refer to the tow-headed lad is Charlie, then he's gonna try to make a mental note of that.
Yep. So it's up to you guys where to sit, Daniel and Liam.
Would it be weird for Daniel to sit with Liam?
Not really. You guys
Okay.
are kind of like bottom of the barrel for both of your stations.
That's true. Then Daniel's probably gonna sit with Liam, but not act too overly friendly with him.
It's quiet between the two of them. Food's not great. There is a din of many people talking, and there is the smell of beer everywhere. As they're sitting and eating, Zachary gets this look of a chill coming down his spine, and he shivers and turns and looks. And he watches someone go by. Someone who is rather big, looks like a ship hand, and has short black hair, which looks like it was just like cut haphazardly, walks by.
What a nerd.
And this man just goes by Zachary, and Zachary gets this awful chill.
You alright, Zach?
Yeah, he watches the man go by, and the man goes down. He doesn't stay on the middle deck, he goes to the lower gun deck for some reason. Yeah, no, fine, he says, and he looks back at his food.
Zach,
Yeah.
you know you should be open with us if you have any inkling about what might be going on.
I don't know, he was probably just too close. Sometimes I shudder when people are too close behind me. Look, he says, pushing his food away, which is completely untouched. I'm so sorry, I'm just really out of my depth right now.
It's alright. We'll figure it out.
Liam pushes Zachary's food back closer to him and says, alright, but just remember, you're not out of your depth alone here. The rest of us are here with you.
Daniel nods.
Right.
Also, speaking of the rest of us, did you leave Adrian alone
Christ!
with all of the... Oh, Jesus. Alright, okay. Daniel, do you want to go get Adrian and peel him off of his desk or whatever it may
yes.
be?
Yeah, Daniel goes to fetch Adrian.
This is mostly free time, so they're just allowed to roam if they want. Are they going up to peel Adrian off his desk?
Daniel goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think all three of them can go.
Yeah, Liam stays to, like...
Make sure Zachary
Make
eats.
sure... Here comes the aeroplane!
Yuck.
It's not an aeroplane.
It's
a spoon.
Yeah. Liam's gonna probably try to change the subject with Zach. Since Zach doesn't seem to, like, have any other information to impart, he's gonna be like, well, you know, one time my father told me this story about seafaring life.
Oh, that's sweet of him.
So he's gonna be doing that while Daniel goes to get Adrian.
Daniel goes to Adrian's surgeon quarters and he knocks with the back of his hand.
The voice comes from somewhere in the lower half of the room. Hello?
By God, Adrian, open up.
It's open.
He opens the door.
He's just on the ground.
Adrian, my God, get up.
How about just come here? Come have a sit down. Join me. Why not?
No, I'd really rather not.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Aren't you stressed?
I don't like opiates for very obvious
There's
reasons.
probably regular alcohol in here.
I don't want that. There's beer downstairs. You need sustenance.
Must I?
Yes, you're
I
not a
can't go out there
vampire.
now, looking like this.
Perhaps I can bring you something.
Yeah.
All right, hang tight. And he closes the door on Adrian, and he goes back down to the middle gun deck mess hall and checks in with the kitchen to see if he could take something to the doctor. Take a bowl to
Is the doctor not feeling well? Says Charlie, looking at him.
He's just very busy with work. Doesn't want to leave his position.
Oh, right, of course. He's, of course, a busy man, he says, and he dishes out something and he hands it to him with a smile. Here, and tell him thanks for me.
Certainly. What was your name?
Charlie.
Very good. I'll let him know. Thank you. Daniel goes back upstairs to the surgeon's quarters and knocks again. Knock, knock, knock.
Hello?
He opens the door. Hi, I have brought you food.
Oh, thank you. It's almost like having Ollie back.
He gives him a look. And then he kind of forcefully puts it down, and then he grabs Adrian and sits him up.
Ow.
And then he shoves the soup into his hands.
Oh god. That's a hot
And he-
bowl.
And he wraps Adrian's hand around the spoon, and he says, "Eat."
I have motor functions, mostly still.
Mostly still.
Daniel sighs. Oh, he says, some kitchen hand named Charlie says thank you for patching him up.
Well, he's very welcome. I'm a doctor.
You need to stop saying that, please.
But I am. I've never been a doctor before. It's exciting.
No one had any suspicion until he kept saying, I'm a
Nobody
doctor.
has any suspicion now.
They do. You're too drunk to notice.
That's about the same thing, isn't it?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Just eat your soup.
They...
Look, there's bacon bits in it.
Oh my god, there's not. It's a very poor soup. I really liked that scene, sorry.
Oh, good.
The 9 bells ring. Y'all know that this means this is like your allotted free time before you have to go to bed. A lot of the food is being cleaned up, it's being given to kitchen. There are people who are on duty to help clean with all of the bowls and all of the spitting barrels and things like that. But this is the time to kind of really chew tobacco, play cards, do anything that doesn't involve bedding, really. And Zachary looks over at Liam because Daniel's probably still trying to get Adrian to eat. Or is still just up there dicking around. And looks at Liam and says, should we still wait until midnight? Or should we...
Well, we have this time to walk around. I think we should find the lay of the land. I think we should perhaps talk and see if anybody's seen anything unusual.
Okay. Who do we talk to?
That's a very good question.
The vast array of friends you have.
Let's talk to the cook.
Okay, he nods. The cook. Yes. Liam and Zach head over to the cooking area, and Charlie looks over and goes, oh, you here to help with dishes?
Exactly, yes. And it was a mighty delicious dinner, as per usual. My compliments to the chef.
The cook in question, who has a peg leg, looks over and gives a bit of a nod.
Long
he
John
grunts.
Silver?
He gives a bit of a nod and he goes, it's the same thing you have every day of the week, but glad to know it's fine.
Well, I could just tell you put a little bit of extra care into it this evening. It was delicious.
You'll not be getting anything extra. Plates
All
are over
right.
there, forks are over there. Decide what you want to clean and go.
All right.
I don't think Liam's silver tongue is really going to do anything in this situation.
So Charlie, was it?
Yes, sir, he says, and he's kind of more or less carefully cleaning with you because he's still very careful of his bandages, which have bled through only slightly.
That's a nasty looking cut there. How did that happen?
He sighs. Strange wind hit the ship and it's foolish, really. I just sort of nicked myself, and it was a deeper nick than I thought. He seems embarrassed. Stupid, really. He looks
Well,
to be
no.
about the age of 17.
Okay.
He's so tiny!
Well, I mean, that happens to everything. I mean, look at what happened to me. Strange wind came along and got me just the same. And he points at the big welt on his face. We make a right pair, don't we?
Blimey, sir. The surgeon looked at you then, did he?
Yes, he did.
Bless him. I don't know where we'd be without somebody on the ship who knew how to repair us.
You've got a fan.
Yes, I don't know where we would be. I just don't know. In any case, you'll just have to make sure you don't get that too wet while you're washing. Now, tell me, aside from this here strange wind, has anything else been happening recently?
Anything else, sir? Anything else like what?
Liam just, leans down and is like, the days drag on a bit. I'm sure you know something interesting that's been happening on the ship. Just some gossip, you know.
He looks a little alarmed. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about what's going on, sir. I'm sorry.
Liam backs off a bit and he's like, nah, I'm just pulling your leg.
Right. Zachary looks over at Charlie and goes, do winds like that normally happen? And Charlie looks over at Zachary confused and says, well, we're on the same ship, you would know. Sorry that they have the same voice. And Zachary goes, well, I suppose what Liam means by strange is nothing off-putting, right? I mean, we're all sailing off to some weird SOS signal, and were you a part of the previous crew? Charlie thinks. No, but you're right. It is a bit odd, the rumors with all the fog and the SOS signal. I heard it was by lantern light, and they couldn't even see the outline of the ship. All they saw was the light itself just hovering in the fog, like a blinking eye. But, you know, he shrugs. You know how sailors talk. Right, says Zachary nodding. I definitely know how sailors talk.
Yes, sailor.
But nothing odd, says Zachary. I should hope not, says Charlie. I wouldn't be able to sleep in the night. Charlie gives them a nervous smile and walks away to find more things to clean. Zachary looks over at Liam. I don't know if we're going to find anything from talking to people. We might just have to wait till tonight.
Well, you heard what he said. There have been strange winds a-blowing.